I'm Patty Lankford, the VP for Job Corps. Today I have with me Zina Watkins, our Chicago Regional Director from Department of Labor, to answer a few questions. So first, Zina, tell us a little bit about your workforce. Welcome to the conference, by the way.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here, Patty. I am a teacher by training, an educator. So I started in actually teaching incarcerated adults.
Wow.
And then from that, I went to elementary, middle school, that kind of thing. And my last job in teaching was as a librarian. So the ultimate in community-based organizations, libraries.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've been in Department of Labor for how long now?
Oh, geez. So almost 4 years.
Okay.
And I came over to labor from education.
Okay.
And at education, I served in a similar role. I was a regional person, and I worked directly with adult literacy.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Well, some of my tough questions. I know you got some answers. First, I'm curious, everywhere you go these days, you see hiring signs. And I'm just curious how you see the Job Corps helping to support the current labor shortage.
Well, first I'd like to challenge the notion that there's a shortage.
Okay.
I feel like it's a realigning.
Okay.
I think part of the benefit, if you want to call it that, of the pandemic was slowing down. And once people had slowed down, they were taking inventory and simply deciding that what I thought fit me or worked for me, that's changed. And I think that's what we're seeing now. Job Corps in particular, I think, is just more relevant now than it ever was before. We are going to double down on our mission, which is to educate and connect young people, help them find their direction, and we're going to continue to do that during this period of time.
Awesome. I like that realigning of the workforce. That's a great way to look at it. So as far as our students that we typically try to recruit, they're needing employment. So our admissions counselors find it a big challenge now because they can find jobs for $16, $17, $18 an hour without having to invest training in themselves. What kind of things would you suggest to our admission counselors to help change that script to help enroll our young people?
I think it's very important for us to remind students that we're thinking long term. Sometimes they can select employment opportunities that address their short-term needs, but we have to remind them that it's a long-term, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and that if they take time to reinvest in themselves, develop their skills, educate themselves, identify and earn credentials, that they can actually achieve much, much more than they could otherwise. Okay. And so I think that's one of the main ways that we can encourage students to continue to enroll in Job Corps and see it as a viable path to achieve the goals that they set for themselves.
Okay. Well, building our onboard strength and trying to get our student population seems to be the major topic of discussion today in Job Corps.
Yes.
So what do you think some of our biggest challenges are with doing that, and what do you suggest, or what are some of the ways you think we can help improve that?
I think one of our biggest challenges is simply the number of options and alternatives that students have.
Yeah.
There's a wealth of opportunities, and to be competitive or to stand out amongst all of those choices, we simply have to provide a better option for students.
Okay.
And I think one of the ways that we can do that is by improving our culture. Our students want to come to Job Corps and feel as if they have the opportunity to be independent, to be supported, yet to be independent. And so that's one of the things that I think as a program that we have to perhaps think differently about, to put a laser focus on how we provide the kind of environment that students will find both inviting, welcoming, and supportive.
Yeah, I think too, we've been really working on some national partnerships. I heard that at our last National Job Corps Association conference, and I think if we can find a way to reverse enroll, so like when these people would maybe go to the employer and they need, find that they have a shortage of skill sets, to try to say, hey, well, why don't you go to Job Corps where you can get these skill sets and then come back to us? So, I think as an organization, that's something we got to work on too.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think
awesome.
there are so many opportunities for us to receive referrals, just like you're describing, from employers, from other educational institutions or organizations where students have not been successful. We need to work together so that students have multiple options, multiple points of entry. Yeah, I think it's important.
Awesome. Well, I've been in Job Corps, I think it's 20 years this month, matter of fact.
Wow.
And, we've stayed pretty consistent with most of our way of doing business in Job Corps. So, I know one of Rachel Torres is the national director, her initiative is to try to come about with a 2.0 Job Corps. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you, and what kind of things do you think we can do to help make the program something that young people do want to join? Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I'm thrilled to have Rachel Torres as our national director. She brings a wealth of experience and enthusiasm, which I think is super important. I think any change initiative, you have to approach or recognize that there's going to be some emotion. So we have to address that and recognize that we're challenging every aspect of the program, mm-hmm. from enrollment, the way students enroll, how they matriculate in the program, mm-hmm. to how they connect to the employers once they're completed the program. So in each stage of that, there's going to be a reckoning with what we keep and what we change. And not everything needs to be drastically changed. Sometimes
right.
It's very, very small tweaks, mm-hmm. yes. Or going back to something we did in the past and reimagining it in a way that's relevant for today. I think there's just going to be so much excitement about what we can do as a program. I'm thrilled about this new direction. I'm thrilled to innovate. What's one of my favorite quotes is, "When in doubt, innovate."
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be an exciting time for the program, an exciting time for us to reimagine or to rebrand Job Corps as a program that can be as relevant and important as it was 60 years ago, same today.
Well, I know you took on a new initiative of trying to do focus groups with the students from the Chicago region once a month, and maybe it's asking them, what do they want to see in the program, and how relevant it is to them and what they're doing. So maybe some thoughts might come out of those focus groups as well. So
they usually do. Fortunately, the students have been very receptive, and they do tell us exactly what we can do to improve. And that was the whole point of us convening these groups, is for the students who are benefiting from the program, they're our clients, for them to tell us what we can do to improve the quality of services. And they have been very forthcoming.
Yeah, they're never really shy about sharing their opinions.
No.
Well, Zina, anything else that you want to share while we have a moment to talk about Job Corps and workforce?
Well, I'll tell anyone that asks me that I think Job Corps is an exciting program. I think if a young person is challenged with how to find their direction or their career path, they should consider Job Corps as an option. I think we have a wealth of opportunities, experience, support that we bring to a young person's life. And I think anyone that chooses Job Corps as part of their career path will be satisfied. They'll be satisfied with the program.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I mean, being invested in it, Job Corps is one of those things that you just fall in love with once you're part of it. And I just, the things we do and the lives we impact, it truly does make a difference. Well, I really appreciate you coming today and sharing with us, Zina, and enjoy the conference.
Thank you. I will. I appreciate being part of this.